And oop.
We live in a condominium complex in West Sacramento. Riva, we call it.
California.
Our garbage day is Friday. And they come pick it up at 9 or 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Well,
the garbage. Sometimes the recycling doesn't get there till like noon.
Right. But our garbage day is on Friday.
Yeah.
Today's Sunday. It is Sunday, July 18th, and there are still garbage cans lining the streets of Riva.
I hate these people. Why don't you take your garbage cans back to your garage?
Right. And, maybe if, like, our garbage day was on a Tuesday, and then they're working on Wednesday, and they're tired from working on Tuesday, and they might take 3 days to put their cans back. But that's not the case. It's the weekend.
Your can should be back in your garage within 24 hours.
Oh my God.
There's no excuse.
It's unsightly.
It's unsightly.
It's urban blight.
It's difficult to maneuver when you're driving your car.
Yeah.
You don't want to hit
some
it.
of these trash cans are in the middle of the road and in the middle of our little driveways. And
everyone hates you.
Yeah. It's been 48 hours. You've had enough. And we've had enough. So at one point, can we kick them? Kick them!
I say 24 hour. In 1 minute, kick them.
I give them 48 hours.
Oh,
honey.
you're
But
very,
it's been
you're
48
generous.
hours.
Yeah, it's generous.
It's been 48 plus 6. 50. It's been 54 hours. Let's kick the crap out of those cans.
Do it.
And oop.
Greetings, Internet. Welcome to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Good evening.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me at our dining room table for our little program here. Okay, let's get into it. The term geriatric millennial, honey. What does this mean to you?
I'm a proud geriatric millennial.
Yes. Where did you hear it? What does it mean?
I heard it a couple months ago, pretty recently. So we all know there's these days now, generations are divided into groups.
Yeah.
But it spans like 15 or 20 years.
Or it doesn't.
Which is stupid.
Well, there's 15 to 20 years, and then there's geriatric millennials, which from this website is defined as if you were born between 1980 and 1985. Is 5 years a generation?
So there's millennial.
Yeah.
Millennials like 1981 to 1996.
Sure.
Something like that. You don't have this up?
No. I just have geriatric specifically.
So, millennial.
Yes.
Millennial, everyone's been talking about millennials for like the past 10 years.
Yes.
Millennials have canceled Top Sheets. Millennials have canceled butter. Millennials have canceled various items.
They canceled everything.
We get blamed for everything. But the generation definition is stupid.
It's dumb. It's absolutely moronic. It's for websites, which
it is.
I got this list from something called Peer Wow, which is nonstop clickbait and listicles, which is meant to feed podcasts for easy content. But it's so dumb. Generations and Gen Y and Gen Z and Gen X. And
I think this started with the baby boomer generation, which was post World War II, like 1944 to 1960.
Yeah, that was legitimate. I mean, that was affiliated with Tom Brokaw, and he's a serious guy.
I mean, this was like a period in American history when people coming home from World War II, the post World War II life, like people are having babies, and
baby boom.
I think this is where the generational, like, we have to divide these generations into these specific years, and I think this is where it began, but I don't think it no longer serves a purpose.
But now it's grown out of control, right? It's completely useless. It's dumb. It's so people can whine.
It's so dumb.
So Gen Y can whine about Gen Z and how they don't part their hair on the left, or they part their hair in the middle.
They wear a low rider jeans as opposed to high waist jeans.
It's
and
so dumb.
Because so millennials are technically like 1980 to I think 1996.
Okay.
What do I, a person born in 1984, have in common with a person born in 1996? Our childhoods are our entire youth.
Yeah.
They're so diverse.
Yeah.
Especially now that in the last 40, 50 years, technology is changing so much.
Yes.
Our experience as youth, it's changing so much.
Yeah.
You can't group us in these generational years any longer. It's not working.
It's completely idiotic. And so you have a 12-year-old and you have a 1-year-old. They're going to have nothing in common.
Totally.
Now, we have a darling daughter, Luna Marine. We have darling son, Lennox Albert, who are 9 and 12, 3 years difference. There's some overlap there. In the Venn diagram.
For them.
Yeah.
They talk about what their Generation Z.
Yeah.
Are you guys Generation Z?
Sure.
No one's answering me.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So we were just talking about this today.
Yes.
Lennox was born in 2012.
Okay.
He's the last year of Generation Z.
Mm.
And Luna's only born 3 years earlier, so she's pretty young in that generation as well.
Yeah.
What do they have in common with somebody born 10 years earlier? Not a lot.
I don't know.
They're still so young, and the people who are still in their quote-unquote generation are already, like, starting college.
Yes.
You can't group these people together. It just doesn't work.
It's dumb. It's easy fodder. It's easy content for websites like PeerWow, and for
BuzzFeed.
Podcasts and BuzzFeed. And then there's listicles for this generation, and then there's a backlash for the listicle of that generation. It's all dumb.
It's
but
dumb.
the positive side of it is that it's kind of cool to reminisce about your youth and what you had in common and what you did back in the day and how things have changed. And that's what I think this listicle, this 10 signs you're a geriatric millennial, also called a seasoned millennial, honey.
Does it tell you the years of birth for
Yes.
geriatric millennial?
Yes.
Okay.
If you were born between 1980 and 1985, you are a geriatric millennial.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I was born in 1988. No, okay. 1977, honey.
Okay.
I've been lying
what
this
are
whole
you?
time in our marriage. I don't know. I don't care. But I can identify with a lot of these. And that's what we're doing
That's
here.
what I was thinking.
We have a listicle of easy content that we can mock and make fun of. Yes.
You're the generation prior to millennial.
Sure.
But you and I have a lot, like, we can relate on a lot of things from our youth.
Yes.
Even though you are 7 years older than me.
Yes. Sometimes 6. Yes.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, the technology boom of the 2000s.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything's changing.
Yeah, so if you're a child born in the 2000s as opposed to a child born in the 2010s, things are going to be vastly different. But, like...
I remember the Industrial Revolution when that Henry Ford guy, we made cars on the assembly line, honey.
You're born late 1970s. I'm born early 1980s.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of overlap.
84, that's mid-1980s, and then 77 for me, that's mid-1970s.
Okay, so...
What's going on, honey?
Mid to mid.
Okay. This is scandalous what's happening here in our marriage. Okay, so the top 10 signs you're a geriatric millennial. Number 1, you had a Hotmail, Yahoo, or AOL email address.
Sure did.
Oh, yeah. Still do. I still have my Hotmail, I still have my Yahoo, and I'm ashamed of both of them. But Hotmail is kind of a burner email. Like, if I need to register an account for whatever website or app, I'll throw in my Hotmail. It's a bunch of trash. It's a bunch of spam.
I love my Hotmail. It's a nickname that my dad gave me.
Really?
So my Hotmail email address is pacaralia@hotmail.com.
I'm sorry, what? How do you spell that?
My dad's nickname for me was Kupacaralia.
Okay. Now,
for shortening, he would call me Kupak.
Okay. This is the first I'm hearing about it. Now,
I
knew
know.
Carolyn was turned into Koo.
Koo.
Your brother still call you Koo.
Lots of people call me Koo.
C-O-O.
Like, anyone who knew me before the age of 18 refers to me as Koo.
Okay. But the Pacaralia were...
My dad would call me Kupacaralia.
You were a pack rat. No?
So my very first email I ever made, probably at like 15 or 16, was pacaralia@hotmail.com.
And that Pacaralia came from...
Kupacaralia. My dad that was my nickname my dad called me.
But where did the Pacaralia come from?
Who knows?
Oh, okay.
His brain.
One of those.
And then he called me Kupak for short.
Kupak.
I love it.
I like that.
So Pacaralia is Pacaralia at hotmail.com.
And the etymology, it emanates from absolutely nothing.
My dad's
from
brain.
Alan Fisher's brain.
Right.
Wow. Fascinating.
But you know what is so sad?
Yes.
Kupacaralia.
Yeah.
Very recently, like a few years ago, all of a sudden I got locked out of my Hotmail account.
Really?
It wouldn't recognize my password, and
gosh.
I haven't been able to recover it.
Right.
So it's been a few years since I've actually been able to log in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Oh
well.
My AOL, I can't think of the actual name, but my AIM AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
I got locked out of it 10 plus years ago. And I tried and I tried. I was like, please let me into AIM.
I know.
The password changed. I changed it, or someone else changed it, or the Russian hackers changed it. Something happened. And I tried so much. I wanted to get back into AIM. I still want to get back. No. But I was just like, this is life and death. But AOL, their customer service is just non-existent. Or
does anyone work for AOL
you send an email and it goes into some bin to some hackers in Bulgaria. I don't know, but I still can't. Okay, I remember I had a ton of emails back when the internet was happening, honey. We registered with a bunch of websites and emails, and a lot of it was trash and spam. But my AOL that I'm thinking of that I couldn't log in was Mac.com 0, the number 0.
Oh.
MACDOTCOM 0.
What was your name before the @
That was it, Mac.com 0.
Mac.com 0?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It's pathetic. I still have it. I still have Hotmail. I still have Yahoo. You don't have any of those? You just have a Gmail.
I think I still have. Well, I think it's still in existence. My Hotmail,
yeah.
and
but you can't get in.
No, and I briefly used a Yahoo, which I also can't get in. I have no idea what my password is.
Yeah. I have a Hotmail. It's a burner. I have Yahoo, also a burner. My Gmail account is like, it's only the lucky. It's like VIP. Only the lucky get past those velvet ropes. Like that's my quote unquote real email.
My Gmail is the one I've had for like 10 years now or whatever.
Yeah. It's a sacred ground. But AOL email address makes me think of a coworker. His name is Richard Beeson, and we were talking as we spent many hours in a car when I was training him. He talked about meeting his current wife on AOL.
Aww.
Yeah, and he said, "Do you want to know what her AOL screen name was?" And I go, "I would love to hear her AOL screen name." Richard Beeson, and he said, "It was Honey Love 29." Okay.
Honey Love.
29, honey.
What's the 29?
Well, maybe she was 29 when she registered it, but now she's 83 years old. Who knows?
Or was it her birth year? 1929.
Oh, yeah, even better. It was back in the day. I'm sure they're a lovely couple. She's allergic to fish. And so when she goes out of town, he goes and gets seafood, and it's a big deal. Okay, so that was number 1, emails. Number 2, you made mixtapes.
I totally did.
Okay, these are you made them on cassettes.
Cassette tapes.
Okay.
You would put them in your boombox,
Yes.
and you would listen to the radio,
Yes.
and you would listen and listen to the radio, and when you heard your favorite song coming on the radio station, you'd immediately push the record button.
Right. Or you took it up a level where you had to record and then you hit pause, and then it would when a song would come on, you would just need to click the pause button.
I didn't know that trick.
Oh,
man.
So many.
Me and my friends
wasted.
did not know this trick.
Oh.
I have vivid memories in my bedroom as well as in like some of my friends' bedrooms.
Yeah.
Just sitting by the boombox with the radio playing with our blank cassette tape.
Yeah.
And you'd push the buttons as soon as your favorite song came on. So you had a little bit of the DJ talking on the radio station.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning.
I have very fond memories of I went to school in San Francisco State, and KMEL was the hot radio station, 106.1 FM, and I remember just recording their DJs because I really like admire a good DJ that can kind of mix the beats and spin it and do the who's and the what's it's and their DJs were really good, and so I would like hit record on certain DJs and certain songs and the way they transition from one song to another, and I was just like, wow, this is so cool. And I might have been under the influence of booze and or drugs, honey, but I love that.
Say what?
Yeah, it was. I don't miss it because it's a lot of analog tape that kind of went nowhere and is probably in the trash somewhere.
I remember sitting in my bedroom late nights and like waiting forever. And my favorite, like this, I had a particular song I wanted to come on. Yeah. And it never came on. And you know, so then you're like,
Carey?
No. It was, I forget the name. It was
Truly, Madly, Deeply You.
Anyway, so then you're like, well, I missed it this night. I gotta wait till tomorrow night.
I'll be here for 23 hours and 28 minutes. I had a shelf system, which was a step above a boombox, honey. I had a shelf system Iowa, which was a brand way back in the day. AIWA.
I remember we had that. I think my family, and, not me personally, though.
I wouldn't. This was a different thing than recording off the radio. But it had a dual cassette deck. 2 cassette tapes.
Yes.
At once, honey. Yes. It was big time. And so I would play and I would make quote unquote mixtapes. But this is very embarrassing. But I would play Soul for Real, Candy Rain on one cassette tape. And on the other one, I would record. And I had a microphone. And so I would sing along with Soul for Real, Candy Rain, and we're married, honey, and I love you forever. But back in high school, I had a crush on a young lady named Michelle Castillo. And I remember distinctly singing along with Soul for Real, Candy Rain. My love, do you ever? And then recording it and giving her the tape.
You gave it to her?
I gave her the tape.
Oh my gosh.
Even more embarrassing, she gave it to other people. Now, it wasn't like you're sending an MP3 where you could zap off a whole 40-minute track in 2 seconds. You had to physically transfer the tape from one person to another. And other people heard it, but I didn't suffer a lot of flack from it. I think a lot of people thought it was adorable.
So, what happened with you and her? What happened?
Nothing.
Did she accept your love?
Nothing. She had a boyfriend, honey.
Oh my gosh.
That was even worse. And now she's married to Mary Grace Kennedys brother, I think.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's still in the family.
Sure. I used to drive by her house. It was, you know what? It was like Olivia Rodrigo, honey. Driver's license ever hear of it?
Oh, honey.
Okay, number one. So the number one was the email. Number 2 was Bix tapes. Number 3, the modem, which is described here as the sound of white noise followed by 3 little beep, 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 known as dial-up internet.
Yep.
It makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Absolutely.
Inside. Yeah. What were you dialing up as? Because we dialed up way back. We had Prodigy. Did you ever have Prodigy?
I have no idea. Okay. I was like 10 or 11 when my family first got quote unquote internet.
Okay.
On our family computer, and it was in the kitchen. I still can see the kitchen in Rosemont Court, Rosemont and Roman Court.
Yeah. We had Prodigy, and I remember Sundays we went to church, but Sundays was also when big tennis matches would happen. The championship match of Wimbledon. And Grandma T and my mom, she loved tennis. She still loves tennis. I dig tennis now because of her. But it would be Sunday morning before we went to church. And everything was tape delayed because the Wimbledon would happen in England, Europe.
Yeah. England.
Not America.
England, yeah.
And so it had already happened. But NBC would show it at, 11 a.m. just because to get more viewers and more ratings. But my mom would be like, go on Prodigy and find out who won Wimbledon. And I'd be like,
Yeah, totally.
Mom, Jim Courier won Wimbledon. Okay, cool. That's my specific memory of analog modem. Now these kids with these Wi-Fi, honey.
I know.
These kids with this Wi-Fi and this LTE everywhere.
I definitely recall, like, dialing in, logging in, or whatever you had to do. Yeah. And then sitting there for a long time waiting for it to load.
So long. The kids will never know, honey. And then that was number 3. But 3A, which is related... you remember how annoying it was when your mom was on the phone so you couldn't use the internet? Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
But maybe it was a thing, but I don't remember.
Did you have 2 lines?
I don't know. We had 1 phone number.
Okay, because we had 2 lines, and it was...
I still remember my childhood phone number. Do you remember your childhood phone number?
It was a family saver. I do not.
Really?
No.
Shall I quote mine right here, right now?
Was it 867-530-99?
It was 916-364-8944.
Okay.
Is that anybody's phone number now? I wonder. Is that transferred to somebody?
Do you want to? Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's still hooked up to Roman Court.
You know what? I recall my best friend cousin's phone number as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't. I know my parents' current landline phone number, but that's about it.
Okay, what's the next one on the list?
Next one is number 4. It's just simply Listerine strips.
Oh, yeah.
These were huge.
Yeah.
They come in the little packet where you open the top, you pop open the little lid there.
You gotta put one in your mouth anytime you're gonna be kissing somebody in high school.
Right.
That's what I associated with.
Well, I never kissed anyone in high school, honey.
What?
But we just liked them because they were so like tangy and spicy and spearminty. So there would be whatever 20 in a little pack, and we would eat like all 20 in 6 minutes.
Why?
Because of the sensation.
They were gross.
No, they were Listerine. They were minty. They were fresh. They were wintergreen.
Sure.
I love that. But they had the green ones, which were whatever spearmint, and then they had the red ones, which were cinnamon.
I don't like the red.
No, they were for the not faint of heart, honey. Number 5. You're a geriatric millennial.
I am.
You miss your Motorola Razr.
Miss it?
You had one.
I had so many variety of flip phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first phone was like a Nokia, which was not a flip phone. It was just like a little box rectangle thing. Yeah. And then I had so many flip phones before the smartphones came about.
But you had a Razr.
I did have a Razr. It was pink.
Ooh.
I got it in about 2005 or 2006.
Okay. Yeah. This Wikipedia says it was 2003 and then came out officially 2004.
Okay.
So
I was late to the game.
Yeah.
But I did have one, for a couple of years.
That's cool. It was a sign of like prosperity or wealth or
sure. Well, I was not wealthy, but yeah.
Or accumulation or It was a sign because most people... I never had a Razr, honey.
Oh, dear.
I never had a Razr, okay? I was down on my luck. But the Razr was... it was something cool. Yeah. Like, not everyone had one. So if you had one, it was like, oh... Like, Jay-Z has a Motorola Razr, yo.
I was cool when I was 21.
and it had a camera. Did you take pictures with it?
Yeah.
Horrible
pictures.
Quality looking pictures. That's cool. Yeah, I never had one.
Okay.
And I'm still shaking from it.
I'm sorry, honey.
But 5. So that was 5. But 5A, tangentially related. The Motorola Razr was a serious upgrade from your beeper. Now we're in my territory. Now we're in my house, honey. Right. Never mind the Razrs in Rosemont. The pagers / beepers in San Diego, California. And well, you know what? That's probably a generational difference, an actual one. Because I was like from the pager generation.
Yeah. And you know what? My older brother's friends, I don't think my parents let my older brother have one.
Right.
But I remember his peers having pagers.
Yeah.
So that was like people older than me.
Yeah.
I never had one.
I
was too young.
A true generational difference. But I have many memories, and I eventually got a pager. And I remember saying, "Page me up." And you would write with numbers like
Like a calculator?
Well, yeah. B. What was the number 8?
Oh wow.
Or the number 8 could signify A. So you kind of had to play like Sherlock Holmes. Like you had to wrestle with what is this word? There's a 6 here and a 4, and a 4 is an upside down H, honey. 6 could be C or G.
Oh wow, this is difficult. I can't imagine.
It was, but that's where 143 came. I love you because is that
where it originated?
Mm-hmm. Okay. 637 was thinking of you.
Oh, I don't know that one.
No. 823 was thinking of you. 637 was I can't think of it right now. That was another. But yeah, trying to send messages via phone numbers, and that was back in the day when, like, if you said, "Oh, I didn't get your page," that was legitimate because it was a poor system put together, and not all pages came through. Yeah. Yeah,
I missed out on the pager thing. 'Cause I was just too young.
You weren't
by a few years. I was too young.
You weren't selling drugs in Roman court, honey. Number 6. You appreciate how easy it is to roll down the window in your car these days.
I totally remember the manual little rolly thing rolling down your window.
And for whatever reason, sometimes you would try to go in circles really, really fast to get the window down quickly.
Definitely, I remember that.
But yeah, now you just hit a little button. These kids hitting this button and the switch will never know. What about the arm workout you used to get, honey?
But you know what? Nowadays, with the electric thing, I can lock it so the kids in the backseat can't roll down their electric windows.
They can't.
Only the front seat can.
They can't be up to no nonsense, no shenanigans.
So, I mean,
what you say goes. There's no rolling down the window.
I have the power now.
You got the power. Number 7, you're still mad about that one time you were 98% through downloading a song on Napster, and then your mom picked up the phone. Oh yeah. Now when I had Napster, when I was on Napster, I wasn't living with my parents, but Napster and downloading and the telephone lines, it was a thing.
I definitely have. I mean, downloading songs to burn onto a CD on the computer was a huge part of my life.
Oh yeah.
But I don't recall this specific issue. Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know how that worked. I don't know if I was using different...
Which copyright violations you were engaging in, honey?
Or I don't know if I just got lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know how it worked, but I totally downloaded a bunch of songs to burn onto a CD.
Yeah. Just burning CDs.
Took period.
Forever.
Took forever.
I remember, I would go to Chris Douthat's house in Santa Rosa, and we'd be like, okay, we're gonna burn CDs. Well, there goes our afternoon, and well, let's watch some TV. Let's smoke some marijuana, but we're gonna be here for a few hours because we got 3 CDs to burn.
I remember 2 people specifically, like my cousin Renee Fisher.
Yeah.
And my friend Elizabeth Levitt, we were all me with both of those friends, constantly downloading CDs, burning songs, making compilations, and so much fun.
And then you would take a Sharpie and write on, like this is
Mariah
Carey or whatever,
or you would come up with your own fun little title for a compilation.
Yeah, or someone artistic would draw something, or just remember buying the spindles of 50 blank CDRs.
Yeah, totally.
From Sam Goody or Good Guys or Circuit City. Memories, honey.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that.
I don't that I miss, but then I also don't miss. Like I can appreciate the USB drives and dragging and dropping, and it's done in 10 seconds.
Yeah. I wish I still had a ton of those. I don't know what ever happened to all those CDs I had.
Yeah.
Over the years, I just lost them. They got thrown away or misplaced.
I have them somewhere, either here or my mom's house. I don't even know. But just even the ones I have, I might have 20, 50, but we burnt hundreds of... We were running a CD burning factory practically at some points. And so a lot is lost. But I just remember attaining copyrighted music and media, and my computer would crash or it would die or it would need to be it would just end cease functioning, and you would lose a bunch of movies and music and whatever. And then Windows would crash, my computer would cease to function, and I would lose a bunch of movies and music. And I very quickly I was like, I need to move on with my life. Like I had whatever 2,000 songs, 8,000 songs, and 100 movies that I never listened. Well, I definitely never watched the movies, and I would listen to 3% of the music, 5% of the music. But I learned quickly to move on with my life. Like I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, I had so much. Who cares?" That's when I learned that entertainment is ultimately fungible or dumb or just pointless, or it goes away, and there's more to be had. And especially in the days of 9 million streaming platforms and tons of entertainment options, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I lost a lot. Oh. Quote unquote lost, but it was never mine. Let's be frank. Okay. Next one. Number 8. Friday night meant one of two things: watching TGIF, which was the suite of sitcoms, Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on ABC, including Family Matters and Step by Step.
Full House, Step by Step. I forget what else.
Well, the fourth one was like, they were like, oh, we're going to try this sitcom.
Yeah.
And then the next season, that sitcom was gone, and they tried a new sitcom. Friday night meant one of two things: watching TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday, or spending hours at Blockbuster trying to decide which movie to rent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This was my youth in a nutshell for a Friday night. Totally. And anytime somebody had a birthday party, like I remember my friend had a birthday party and her dad in the minivan drove us over to the Blockbuster. Yeah. We picked out like three VHSs, and then we got them. We drove back home. We stayed up all night watching these films like that. Yeah, that was what we did. Yeah. Totally.
I remember Blockbuster, huge deal. Renting movie, and whether or not they had the movies. Yeah. Sometimes they were like, we guarantee we have the movies, but they didn't always have it. Or sometimes, and I worked in a video store. I worked at Video Vault in the Tony suburbs of San Diego when I was a college age man. But like sometimes you would wait for people to return movies. Like, oh, do you have... Are you returning Fargo? Are you returning Twister? And so they would drop it in the little box, and you would wait for the worker. And again, in Video Vault, I would be that worker who would check the movie in, and hopefully it was Fargo or Twister or whatever movie, Contact. And so you would sit there by the exit bin, but. A great... See, I don't know if it was a great memory, but it was a memory. And it was something significant.
As an employee?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I have so many great memories. Again, with my high school friends, but also with my cousin Renee. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. We went to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The low rent Blockbuster, honey.
Every weekend, especially Friday nights. Yeah. And we would pick up 2 to 4 movies. Yeah. Oh, it was so much fun. Yeah. I loved browsing. You could browse the new releases. Yeah. You could browse like the old school. You could browse the thrillers, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I love that. And then there's candy at the front. I loved it so much. I know. Those were good times.
I remember like Grandpa Curtis, my stepdad, we would rent like 5 movies. It was like, wow. And these VCR tapes are heavy and big, and you got 5 of them. And then for whatever reason, because we were just silly kids, we wouldn't watch all 5. Grandpa Curtis was not happy because we'd be that's $3 down the drain, honey.
5's a lot. Come on.
but when you're in the Sam Goody in Poway, California, you're filled with the hopes and dreams and ambition of we're gonna watch 5 movies and stay up to 4 a.m. And then when we actually it turns out we're at home and we're eating popcorn. Maybe Grandpa Curtis got us Little Caesars. we tucker out around 11 p.m. or midnight.
Yeah.
We don't watch all 5 movies. It's money down the drain, but it was a good time.
Such a good time. I really miss those days.
Yeah.
Do you remember we recently watched a documentary about the last blockbuster in the United States?
Yes.
That was so nostalgic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really like harkened back to the days of my teenhood.
Yeah. Like you needed a card and the Blockbuster logo was blue and yellow.
Yep.
And in this particular Blockbuster, like the lady, I don't know how it was back in the day, but she went to Costco and bought like a bunch of candy and microwave popcorn so she could stock her Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was all the snacks in the checkout line while you were waiting. And just remember the giant, well, they still have them in movie theaters, but the huge displays, the cardboard displays.
The cardboard displays.
Yeah. Those were not easy to put together. As someone who worked at a video store, honey, and sometimes you would get like 80% done. It's like, I don't... And
I remember...
They would give you like a plan of put this here and fold this there, but you would be like, well, this is good enough, I guess.
My cousin Renee and I, we always wanted the cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
The cardboard cutouts of like hot guys that we were into.
Girl.
And we were, I think she one time actually asked the Blockbuster people and they were like, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We gave them away.
Oh my gosh, we wanted those.
We gave them away, but only after they were quote unquote done. Like the display or promotion was done. And now that you bring that up, I remember like posters were a big thing.
Yeah.
And working at Video Vault, I brought home posters. And where are those posters now? Who knows? Who cares? It's all trash. But I did bring home a display or two. But then I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do with this? And so it just went up into trash.
Those were good times.
They were times, honey.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so nostalgic for that period of my life, my youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to now going on Netflix and kind of going from... tile to tile, card to card.
Now we have such easy access to movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Like whatever the kids want to watch, we can pull it up in a millisecond.
Right.
But back then, like if you go to the video store, they're out of the DVD you want. Oh, like too bad. You gotta wait till You gotta wait till it's returned.
Right.
So it's not as special or rare.
That's true.
But now we can just sit at home and pull up on our own system that we have here at home, whatever the kids want to watch.
Yeah. And just going to Blockbuster in a car.
Yeah. As a
driving
family.
there, even if it's 2 minutes away, 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. It meant something.
It did.
We need to come home with a movie or 2 or 5. Sorry,
and then
Grandpa
like
Curtis.
scouring the store.
Yeah.
Like what stands out to you? Oh, and then someone grabs this, someone grabs that DVD and like, that's so good, yeah. And then the other person, oh yeah, that's really good.
This makes me think of Matt Furuzawa, who was my roommate for a while. And I love him dearly. But he said the trick is, and this is no longer relevant, although now that it could be relevant. So if you wanted to watch Space Jam: A New Legacy, Matt Furuzawa would say, "Oh, I've seen it. It's not good. It's a bad movie." Even though Matt Furuzawa hadn't seen Space Jam: A New Legacy, he just didn't want to watch Space Jam: A New Legacy. So he would be like, "Oh, I've seen it. It's not that good." So he would play a trick. He would play mind games. Oh. Like if you wanted to watch a movie that he didn't want to watch, he'd be like, "Oh, I saw that. No, it's not good. It's a bad movie."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah. Right. Duplicitous. No, I missed that kid. Okay. Number 9. You spent much time crafting the perfect voicemail intro. This was a big deal, honey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would play a music song and kind of talk over it. It sounded like crap. While the latest Diddy track was you couldn't understand it. You couldn't understand me. It was overmodulated, or it just sounded like Vince. And then beep, leave a message. Hello.
I remember as I was like a teenager, early 20s, like this was a thing on your personal cellular phone.
Yes.
But before that, this was a big thing for me and my brothers on our family home. What's it called? Like recording a message.
Okay.
When you call the home phone.
I don't know. Yeah.
When you call the home phone and you have an answering machine.
And you would have different mailboxes?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just your home phone line.
Okay.
And we had an answering machine, and you could record a phone. Yeah. You could record something like, "Hey, this is the Fishers. Please leave a message." But like, I remember my brothers and I would go and like record stupid stuff, or like try to like sing a song.
Yeah. Even my parents right now. So it became a thing where like parents wanted to protect privacy or us as children, but my parents currently, the answering machine intro is, "Hello, we're not home. Please leave a message." Like, it wouldn't be like, "You've reached the Coppermans." So you're like, "Oh, I got the right number." It's just like, it's they don't leave the name because for whatever reason, and then who knows what hey, please leave a message. We're not home. Beep. Like, I don't know who I'm calling. What is this nonsense?
I mean, on our cell phones now, I do that. Just the automated thing. You've reached 916,
really?
blah, blah, blah.
Why?
I think I have that for me, and I have that set for the kids, too. Because I'm paranoid.
I don't know what I have.
And oop.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so it's Friday night. Voicemail intro, answering machines. Number 10, finally, you know it's uncool, but you just can't get on board with music festivals. Music festivals.
I
agree.
I feel
you talk about Coachella, that just it just sounds like I'm tired just thinking about it.
Music festivals were a thing in my early 20s that I may have had access to or was exposed to, but not in my teen years. I had peers in my early 20s who went to like Burning Man. Yeah. And I really wanted to go, but I was never in a position to go.
What about Coachella, Lollapalooza?
I never knew anyone who went to those.
Kylie Jenner, honey.
Well, people I knew in real life, the only thing they ever went to was Burning Man, and I did have FOMO with the Burning Man. I did want to go.
You wanted to be out in the 110
but at that
degree
point,
heat?
I was already like married. I had an infant. So it just wasn't feasible for me to go to that.
And being out in the desert in the 110 degree heat in a Winnebago seemed appealing to you?
It
Walking
did.
around seeing art pieces?
It did, but I just wasn't in a place in my life where that would have been at all realistic.
What about now? Would you go to Burning Man? Do you have a desire to? Would you go to Coachella now?
No.
Lollapalooza?
No.
Same. Aftershock.
No. I'm too old for that now,
yeah.
I think. I'd just rather sit with you on the couch and watch TV.
Right. No, as good as Metallica can be IRL, in person, in concert, live, I don't care. I don't want to deal with the crowds and the dirtiness and paying so much for tickets and drinks and just being tired and wanting to go home. I would want to go home.
Yeah.
Play Enter Sandman. Play the covers.
I think the most you and I could handle was like going to a nearby bar/club.
Yeah.
Dancing for an hour to some music and then Ubering home.
Yeah. Going to
that's what we want, right?
Fig Tree Leaf in Roseville.
Sure.
Remember that girl who did NSYNC covers?
Jefferson Bar and Grill.
Yeah. Karaoke at Rockies in Citrus Heights, which we own, by the way. Hello. It was a good time. Yeah. We've talked about who do you want to see live? Like what would get me out of the house to go to Golden One Center to see, pay $70, $150 and deal with the parking and those seats are so small and they're up high and they're tight.
You know what? I cannot think of anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Does anyone pique your interest? Like paying, going, dealing with all that?
No. I want to see Drake live. I would love to see Justin Bieber live. But having to deal with just all that nonsense and then having to deal with coming home and and the traffic and the parking and the money and
Sounds horrible.
It can't compare to watching Justin Bieber Baby, the music video on our TV.
Bieber on our TV. On our couch in our jammies.
Yeah.
Cuddle up together.
Yes. drinking some drinks that we paid 25 cents for instead of a $9 beer at Golden One Center.
Do you remember the last concert you actually went to?
It was probably like an old school.
Oh, like V101.
Yeah, V101, where TLC was there and Sir Mix-a-Lot and Vanilla Ice, and it was fine, but you just feel old.
In like
old school. Yeah.
In like 2016, I went to an outdoor concert at Thunder
Valley.
Thunder Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, you know they have that outdoor venue. I went with my mom and dad and a brother.
So you did go with Alan Fisher.
Yeah, yes. But not just him. Mm-hmm. He and I went together to San Francisco to see It was fun.
Yeah.
But nothing compares to just staying at home.
Yeah.
And being in your cozy clothes.
Who did you see? Do you remember? Yeah.
My dad and I... Oh! James Taylor. My dad and I saw James Taylor and Bonnie Raitt. In San Francisco. And like,
on the same bill? On the same ticket?
Yeah. Like she opened for him.
An odd match.
She opened for him and then James Taylor performed and then like they did some songs together. It was fantastic. Like it was just me and my dad.
Yeah.
It was like 2017. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
We had such a good time. It was amazing. I'm so happy we did it. And then prior to that, the last concert I went to was Ellie Goulding. Here in Sacramento.
With Luna Marie.
I took Luna. She was 7 years old.
Yeah.
In hindsight, she was a bit too young to handle that such a long evening.
Yes.
But really fun we did it. I'm really happy that we did it. But yeah, I've realized like in general, concerts just aren't worth it.
Right.
It's just,
you know what's worth it is the track that they put out for the single that's mixed and they polish it up and it sounds great on the radio and on YouTube, the music video. But when you see it live, it's like, okay, this isn't the track that I've listened to 9 million times. It's a little off, and sometimes it's a lot off, and it's just not worth the parking.
Yeah, the parking.
It goes back to parking and the crowd and paying $15 for a frosty beverage. And the heat. That's how I remember Thunder Valley. Oh, it's an open air amphitheater, concert venue, whatever. It was so dang hot.
Yeah. Nothing
was enjoyable for more than 3 seconds, no matter how drunk you got. It was just... What is the point of all this? I want to listen
just watch it at home on your TV.
Yeah, I want to listen to TLC, Baby, 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 the music video that's 20 years old or something, but it sounds fantastic on our television, and nothing beats it. Alrighty, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for Tommy John Underwear. We don't have a promo code for Tommy John Underwear. Goodbye. I love you. We love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have used Napster to download songs under a nefarious means in the late 90s, but I'm still a good person, and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. Bye-bye.